Hi, thank you so much for tuning in to P2P Relates, where we talk about all things relationships. I'm Pat Renfro, and this week I want to dig into the conversation about first dates. And I want to set you up for success. But before we even get into what that might mean, it doesn't mean that you'll go off into the sunset with your new relationship and everything will just be so wonderful, necessarily. But it does mean that you will be able to assess in a very good, healthy way if this is a good match for you and if it's a good match for them. You know, a lot of times we'll go on an interview for a job and we want that job so bad because we need the money, we need to pay our bills, or we want that career growth to happen. And so we go into the interview just hoping like heck they want us. But just like the job and just like when you're in a new relationship, you need to both be coming into it saying, are we a good fit? Are we the best fit for each other? So I'm going to give you 4 things to think about as you go into your first date to set you up for success. A successful evaluation of, is this the best for me? Is this the best for us? The first thing is pick a place. And even in that very first step, you get an opportunity to get to know that person a little better. And if they're paying attention, they'll get to know you a little better, because what do you pick? It could be a park on a beautiful day, or a nice, quaint, soft-spoken cafe where you can hear each other and not be too distracted. But you figure that out, and I would suggest that you go into the question with some ideas for yourself. The next thing you want to do is develop a few open-ended questions that can't be answered with yes or no, so that you can get to know the person a little bit better. After you've developed those questions, and maybe you might want to encourage them to do the same, just to avoid awkwardness and putting anybody on the spot. This is not about that. This is about being the next thing, authentic. Make sure that whatever way you show up is the way they'll probably see you most of the time. First impressions are lasting, that's true, but there's no need of you going there looking like elegante when you always dress in jeans. Be real, be yourself, be your best self, but be the self that they're gonna see over and over again. With all that I talk about on this channel, I'm constantly wanting to encourage you to be your authentic self. So there's a step before that you may have to take, and that is to reevaluate. Are you really ready for your next first date? That's an important question to evaluate on your own, because sometimes we think we need something so badly, and yet we're not really prepared. So just ask yourself, am I ready for this? Am I confident enough about who I am now at this point in my life where I won't go into it in an apologetic way? The one thing I can tell you to keep it simple and helpful is, if in the depths of your heart, you're really thinking to yourself, wow, if this is the right person, I'm going to be so happy. They're going to complete me. This is just what I need. I sure hope he finds me, or I sure hope she finds me attractive. Then you're not ready. Don't do that to yourself, because they can't make you love you. You've got to value yourself so much that what they do with this first date is not going to impact you in any significant way. It's just a date. So go into it ready to be authentic, and listen to a few videos on self-development if that would help you. So you've got your questions. You have agreed on a place to meet. When you get there, you want to be an active listener. And just exactly what does that mean? Well, first of all, you can go online and look it up if there's some definitions I don't give you for you to feel comfortable about how to actively listen. I used to think a good listener asks a lot of questions, because if I'm not listening to what you're talking about, I don't have any questions for you. But a better listener is one who patiently waits to hear all that the person is wanting to express while doing nothing else but paying attention to what they're talking about. That means I hope you put your phone away. I hope you'll even go one step further and potentially turn your phone off. Many people will say, but I can't. I have a child, or I'm a caregiver, or somebody might have an emergency. I need to be. No, for this period of time, find a dear friend or family member who's got your back for the next 2 hours, who will take care of those things. And you divert your phone so that you can give them your undivided attention. I want you to give them so much of your undivided attention that if you're in a restaurant and all of a sudden the waiter or waitress drops a plate and it breaks, you may acknowledge it, because to ignore it would be a little bit less than authentic, but to make a conversation about that broken plate and how loud that was and oh my goodness, I bet they feel awkward and all that, don't do it. Don't do it. Get right back to focusing on them and their conversation. Give them good eye contact. Obviously, don't stare them down, and just be present. I have a dear friend, I told her this too. She asks the best questions. When you talk to her, you feel cared for, man, because she is right there. There's nothing else more important to her than that present conversation she is having. And she's listening, and then she asks questions that let you know there's no way in the world she could have asked that question unless she was listening. So you want to do that for this particular piece. And when you've done those 4 things, pick the right place, prepared your questions, and possibly ask them to do the same so that you can come with open-ended questions. You give them your undivided attention with your authentic self. And then finally, be an active, caring, undistracted listener. And I just can't wait to hear what your results were. For those of you who already have your first date and you are enjoying those dates, you might want to put some remarks in the comments to encourage those singles who are going to go out on their first date. And just a little tease, next week I'm going to be talking about how to find that first date, whether it's online or otherwise. What are some of the tools and options for that first date? All right, thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, so that you can get notified every Friday when I post. Tap the bell, that'll give you that notification. And share this with somebody. Give me a like. You have a great week. Take care. Good luck on the first date. Bye.